Right, hey guys, it's Weston here. So today I'm going to be reviewing the HP 15AC146NA laptop, and this is the one that comes included with the Essentials bundle. So with this you actually get an included bag and mouse. So the model I have here is the Intel i3 version, so you're getting a 5020U processor. It's clocked at 2.2 GHz, and with that you also get Intel HD 5500 graphics. The laptop also has 4GB of DDR3 RAM, a 500 gig hard drive which is 5400 RPM, and the display is 1366 by 768 at 15.6 inches. So looking around the laptop you can see I have the white silver model, but you can get them in different colours and I'll link them in the description. So looking around the back you can see we've got a really unique diamond finish, and it's actually textured, and I think it's going to be one of those finishes that you'll either really like or really dislike. You've also got the HP logo dead center, and this has got a mirrored finish, and again something you'll either like or you'll not. I personally quite like it, but then again that's just my preference. So looking around the actual laptop next, and we've got a DVD drive, a USB 2.0, an SD card, and your power and hard drive light. Going around onto the other side, and we've got your power in, an exhaust, an RJ45, a full-size HDMI, USB 3 and USB 2, and you've also got a 3.5mm headphone mic jack combo, which is actually pretty respectable. It goes fairly loud and the quality is pretty impressive, especially if you listen to music. Quickly we'll go onto the underside next, and it's actually pretty plain. We've got some very large rubber feet, so if you're using it on a desk surface it'll actually raise the laptop up and stop them from sliding around. Going towards the front of the underside, and we've got two speakers which have got DTS audio, and they're actually not that impressive to be honest. The quality is not fantastic, it's a little bit sort of shallow sounding, and it doesn't get very loud either. So what I'm going to do now is just give you a quick demo just to let you hear what they sound like. Right guys, so next up we get onto the inside of the laptop, and actually opening the laptop does take two hands and you can't actually do it one-handed, which again, I mean it's not an issue, but it's something I thought I'd mention. So looking on the inside, and we'll talk the trackpad next, and you can actually see it's got a really cool sort of cross-hatch design, and you'll either again like it or not. But the trackpad is actually okay. It's a little bit deceiving though, because you actually look like you're getting a really generous sized trackpad, whereas actually it's only the middle section that works as a trackpad. But it's actually pretty decent. Pinch to zoom works pretty nice and pretty smoothly. Again, it tracks really nice as well. It's not the best trackpad I've ever used, and it's not the worst, but it does. I mean, you can always get a mouse anyway if you don't like trackpads. It also has two included buttons, so one is a select button and one acts as your right click button like you'd get on a mouse, and they actually work pretty well. Moving up onto the keyboard next, and it's actually a full-size keyboard, so you do get a full number pad as well, so if you do a lot of spreadsheet work that'll come in handy for that. So the keyboard is actually pretty good, it's nicely spaced out. The key travel is a little bit shallow and took some getting used to, but once I got used to it I actually found typing on it very nice. The only issues I've found with the keyboard are the up and down arrows are a little bit small and sometimes difficult to press. It also has no flex whatsoever, which is something I'm really surprised about considering the low cost of this laptop. Then moving up again you can see we've got the HP logo and your display. So the display is actually surrounded by some pretty large bezels. Not the nicest looking, but I suppose it's more functional anyway. So the display, like I mentioned already, is 1366 by 768, and it's actually WLED backlit. So when I actually got the display at first, the colours were really horrible. They were quite warm and really yellow tinted, and it wasn't very nice. After some colour calibration it actually did look pretty impressive. So colours now are a little bit more vibrant. They're not too oversaturated or too full of contrast, but again you can always set them to your preference using the Intel suite built in. So playing video back on this screen is actually really good, and once you've actually got it calibrated to how you want it, it's actually a really nice display. So colours again look really nice, skin tones look fantastic, and if you watch a lot of YouTube, 720p footage actually looks pretty impressive. Then we get onto viewing angles, and this is where it starts to suffer a little bit. I did notice a little bit of colour shifting when you actually look at different angles, but most of the time you're looking at the laptop straight on anyway, so that's not a major issue. Then we move up a little bit more and we've got your HD webcam, which is pretty average. It's got a lot of noise and a lot of grain in it, but if you're just using it for a quick Skype call, then it's actually not too bad. So moving on to performance next, and it's actually a pretty respectable performing laptop. So everyday tasks such as web browsing, email, going on social media and all that stuff works pretty much flawlessly. And you can actually have quite a lot of windows open as well before the laptop starts to struggle. You can actually also edit photos pretty well if you use Photoshop, and even like 1080p video editing as well, you can actually get that done as long as you're using plug-in power. Then we get on to gaming performance, and it's not fantastic. You do have to have it on plug-in power to actually play games, but it will play older titles like Portal, Lego Avengers, Batman Arkham Asylum, those sort of titles, the older ones. If you try playing newer titles, stuff like Crysis, the new Tomb Raider, it won't even play them at all, and I mean, it's pretty much unplayable. You're only getting like 10 frames per second, and it's just not nice at all. So older titles, it works and it's pretty playable. Newer titles, I wouldn't even attempt. Then finally we'll talk hard drive performance, and boot up actually takes an impressive 15 seconds on average, which for the very slow hard drive is actually quite impressive, and I can't complain with how quick the laptop boots up. Then we get onto hard drive speed, and you're getting an average at around 90 meg per second read and write, which I suppose is okay for the relatively low cost of the laptop, and again for the speed of the hard drive. So day-to-day use is actually pretty respectable. Transferring files and stuff doesn't take over long, but again, it's not exactly what I'd call impressive in 2016, but like I said, it is highly usable day-to-day. Then we get onto battery life, and it's actually pretty average. So with this laptop you get a 4-cell battery, and it's rated at 41 watt per hour. So the battery life is not that impressive. First up, I tested it at 75%, and I did mixed usage, so web, email, a bit of Photoshop, a bit of YouTube, and I got 5 hours 40 minutes use out of it. I then dropped the screen down to 50% brightness, and I actually got 5 hours 53 minutes, again pretty much same usage as before, but the battery life is actually not that impressive. However, if you're just using it for Word documents and web browsing, you could probably stretch that to around 7 or so hours, so depending on how you use it will affect the battery life. So that just about wraps it up for this laptop review. So what do I think of the HP? Well, I actually am quite impressed with it. For £279 with the included bag and mouse, you're actually getting a pretty good deal. The laptop looks nice, it performs well. Battery life is a little bit of a letdown, but like I said, depending on your usage, it will vary. But overall, I think it's a very solid laptop. So if you're looking for, say, a laptop for university or schoolwork, or even for doing finances or anything like that, then it is a really good performing laptop. If you're wanting to play games on it, then you're going to have to stick to older titles and titles that are less graphically intense. But all in all, I think it's a fantastic laptop. Right guys, so that is it. If you've got any questions about this laptop or anything else, drop me a comment down below and I will answer it for you. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, do that for more videos like this and more coming very soon. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all on the very next video.